Have you ever heard your own voice and felt creepy? Now imagine you live alone or lying in your room and receive a call from an unknown number at 10:41 p.m. You pick up the phone, and the first thing you hear is your own voice is repeating the conversation you had with the customer that morning. And it's just the first night. This story doesn't have ghosts. It doesn't have demons, but it will make you doubt yourself and the phone that lies next to you every night. First night. I am a normal person. A luxury car salesman for a BMW showroom, living alone. Going to work on time. No parties, no gossip. Everything in my life is quiet. And that's what makes this so unbearable. It was a normal night. I was lying in my room, my back against the pillow. The light from my phone screen shining on the ceiling. The clock read just after 10:30. I was about to press play on some Netflix movie when my phone rang. Some strange, no region, no name saved, just a cold string of numbers like someone just randomly typed into a keyboard. Because of work, I was forced to take every call, even when it came in at 10:41 p.m. I pressed the listen button, keeping my voice polite. Hello, I am listening. No one answered. There was just a strange layer of static, thick, round, like a radio in the middle of the night. I thought the machine was broken and was about to hang up when I hear me voice. Exactly me voice. Yes, I understand. Come by the showroom around Tuesday afternoon. I will keep the car for you until 5 o'clock. Call this number if you need anything. I was speechless. That is, the call I made to a client that same morning. Every word, every tone, even the slight laugh I let out at the end of the sentence, was played back exactly through the phone in my hand. I heard nothing after that. Just static getting louder. Then the call ended. I sat motionless. My heart was pounding like a drum in my chest. Sweat began to form on my forehead. Despite the cool air conditioning in the room, I tried to calm down. I typed in the number I just called back. Call center. Phone number does not exist. I started shaking, not because of fear of something out there, but because I can't imagine who has a 100% accurate recording of my voice. Playing it back over the phone, in the middle of the night. And at that time, I didn't know. That's just the beginning. Monday night. I couldn't sleep that night. I lay with my eyes open from 11 a.m. until almost dawn. The recording kept playing in my head like a broken tape. Around Tuesday afternoon, park the car, call this number. It was my voice, but it came from someone else. I want to believe I was dreaming. Or someone recorded it wrong. Or even, some customer is playing a prank. But I know well, the chilling feeling of hearing your own voice cannot be imagined. The next morning I went to work as usual, trying to bury myself in work to forget everything. But my mind was wandering. Every time I heard my voice in conversation with the customer, I shivered. I didn't say anything to anyone, because I didn't know where to start. On Monday night, I didn't plan on answering the phone. I put the phone face down on the table. But come right 10:41, it rang again, a strange series of numbers. Not like yesterday. I stood watching it ring. Every time, 1 ring, 2 rings, 3 rings. Then I press listen button. I didn't say anything. I just listened. Another recording. Not yesterday's. Yes, the new X5 executive arrived this afternoon. If you need, I can send the driver to the showroom so he can see the car before making a deposit. My voice. Not a word wrong. I remember this call. It happened just that afternoon. Just a few hours ago. My hands shook. The phone fell from my ear. Still playing. I didn't want to listen anymore. But I couldn't turn it off either. Because I understand something beyond reason is happening. Once is a coincidence. Twice is a warning. And this warning is clearer than ever. The next nights. After the second night, I had no more doubts. I started writing everything down. The times the calls came in. What I heard. The numbers that came up. I made a chart in my notebook. Like an amateur investigator of my own nightmare. And it continues. Tuesday night. Strange number. 10:41 p.m. My voice played back a segment about a female customer who was hesitating between 2 cars. Wednesday night. Another paragraph. I talk about the price list. You can hear every breath. Every time I clear my throat. There were no other voices besides mine. No answers. No background noise. Just me. Cold. Empty. Repeating like a broken tape in the middle of the night. I started to lose control. I no sleep. I no longer feel safe in your own home. I keep the lights on in every room all night, triple lock the doors, draw the blinds. Sometimes I even sit in my car in the underground parking lot to take phone calls. Just to make sure no one is listening to me. I feel like I'm drifting out of reality. I begin suspicious of everyone around, showroom staff, smiling security guard, even my customers. Whenever I talk to someone, I don't dare to finish my sentence. I'm afraid my voice will be chewed the next night, from somewhere I have no control over. And that fear eats me up every night. I don't know if I'm being followed, pranked, or I'm going crazy. No one believed me. I started recording the calls. Not for sharing, not for sending, just to remember I'm not crazy. Every night, I hit the record button before picking up the phone. And just as I expected, incoming call. Unknown number. My voice rang out. No need to fix. No need to adjust. I heard myself say, exactly like I said during the day. One night, I found in the recording faint laughter. Softly, as if someone accidentally revealed it. I compared it to the original recording I had saved from the actual call. No laughter. So someone, interfering, adding, fixing my voice like a piece of music played out of tune, on purpose. I have no doubt. I am being watched. I am being manipulated. And I decided to call the police. I told him everything with a trembling voice. That I received strange calls. That my voice was played back. That I had recording evidence. The operator asked again, "Did anyone threaten you? Has anyone broken into your house? Did you lose any property?" I said no, but I had a feeling someone was here, though left no trace. Then the woman's voice lowered, gentle and cold. "If there is no threat or sign of intrusion, we cannot open an investigation. You can file a report. Otherwise, you should contact your network operator or a technology expert." I hung up. My hands were cold as ice. Not because they wouldn't help, but because I know I am completely alone. I miss my mother. She used to be a smart, sharp person, until one day, she started whispering that people were calling her through the light bulb. People called her lunatic. I used to think she was delusional. And now, I understand one thing clearly. The scariest thing is not being followed, but is when you are being watched, and no one believes you. Cut off all connections. I did what I thought was extreme, but at the time, I had no other choice. I changed phone number. Not only did I change my number, I also bought a new phone. My old accounts were wiped clean. I logged out of all my social media apps, Facebook, Zalo, LinkedIn, even Gmail, and deactivated them all. I disappeared from the internet. I texted my new number to a few close people at work, only those who really needed it. For the rest, I left no trace, no message, no breakup status. I imagined myself being retreat from a room filled with two-way glass, where I get to see every action without ever seeing who is watching. And strangely enough, everything started to calm down. A day passed. No strange ringing. No my voice playing back. No, 10:41 p.m. 2 days. 3 days. I'm breathing again. I exercise. I sleep well. I laugh. I began to believe that I was doing the right thing. That if someone ever followed me through my old number, through social media, through some channel, then now, I have disappeared from their sight. I began to feel at peace. Until Thursday night. The clock was then 10:39. My new phone, language. I stiffened. A strange series of numbers. Not the old number. Not like the previous calls. But I know, it is from the other side. I did not pick up the phone. I watched it ring. Once. Twice. It's off. I sighed, trembling. But less than 30 seconds later, it calls back. And this time, I couldn't resist. I clicked to listen. On the other end of the line, no noise, no silence. Only my voice rang out, calm as every night. "Yes, please check my email. It includes the price list and vehicle configuration. I have attached a PDF file." I don't remember when I let the phone fall from my hand to the floor. I stood there, motionless, like a stone statue in the dimly lit room. This time, I'm not afraid. I'm desperate. I changed my number, changed my device, cut off all connections, yet it still found me. I have no doubt about it. This is no longer a troublemaker. There is a force, a will, an invisible hand that knows where I am, what I say, what I do. I don't know who it is, but I know it never left. 11:00 cloud. That night, I didn't go to sleep. I sat in the living room, the lights dimmed, the new phone lying on the table like a time bomb. I looked at it, and it looked back at me. There was no sound, but it was clear someone is waiting. Exactly 10:41, it rang. I pressed listen immediately. I wanted this to end. I wanted to face it. I wanted to know, who? Why? For what? At first, there was silence. I don't say. I wait. 3 seconds. 5 seconds. I heard a very light breath, like someone was standing right next to my ear. Not saying anything, just breathing. And then, a voice said, not my voice. Not a normal human voice either. It distortion, slowly, as if piercing through thick layers of ice. As if echoing from the bottom of a bottomless well. And it says 2 words. 11 o'clock. I almost dropped the phone from my hand. Not because of what it says, but because I know that makes sense. No one says 11 o'clock to an anonymous caller in the middle of the night without meaning to. Is it a warning? A promise? A declaration? I looked at the wall clock. 10:43. I have 17 minutes. I jumped to my feet. Opened the safe. Take out the pistol. Load it. I turned on all the lights in the house. Checked the front door, the windows, the balcony. All were locked. I sat down on the sofa. The gun was on the table. The desk lamp was shining directly on my face. And I wait. 10:50. I hear my heartbeat more than the clock. 10:55. No sound of cars. No sound of people. 10:59. I stood up. My hand tightened on the gun. My eyes looked around as if expecting a dark figure to rush in from any direction. Already. 11 o'clock. Nothing. No knock. No call. No one in sight. Just silence. I stood there, frozen. Every muscle in my body waited for a signal to react. But it never came. I put my hand down. My heart is still beating. My whole body was shaking. But not from fear anymore, but from terrible emptiness. Because when nothing happens, you don't know what will happen next. And sometimes, that's the scariest thing. Ghost in the house. After that night, I didn't sleep. Not because I'm afraid of what's coming, but because I know it has arrived. Only thing is, I don't realize. I sat motionless in the dim yellow light, looking at every object in the apartment as if they can answer for me. I started walking slowly around the house. Not looking, just like interrogation. I opened every drawer, every cabinet door, and I started to notice the little things, out of place. A spoon was off the tray. The cake knife is hidden in the spice drawer. The kitchen towel was folded, but not the way I usually do it. A very slight depression in the bed next to me. A spot I knew I wasn't supposed to be in. I live alone. No one goes in or out but me. No one has the key. No one is allowed in. But clearly, someone was here. I don't want to believe it. But all those traces seem to be screaming. You are not as alone as you think. I quietly opened the cupboard and took out the electronic scanner I had bought in case of a tracking device. I had scanned the house several times, and found nothing. But this time, the machine made a small beep as I scanned the wall behind the TV. I bent down, pressed the machine against the wall paneling. Red light flashing, signal clear. I took out my box cutter, gently pried off the wooden backing, and there it was. A very small device, black, square, has an antenna that folds inward, sticks on with a thin glue. A device recording or transmitting sound. I stood still. My hands shook as if I had been electrocuted. Someone put this device in my house. I don't know since when. Somehow. And the scariest thing is, I have no idea how many times they came into my house. Maybe once. Maybe many times. Maybe last night, as I sat in this light, gun in hand, thinking I had everything under control, someone was right on the other side of the wall. Silently watching. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. Because I know, my enemy doesn't need to make any noise. They just need listen to me, watch me react, and repeat myself. Conclusion and lessons. The next morning, I left the apartment. Not much, just a few clothes, papers, the gun, and the hard drive containing the recordings I'd saved over the past 2 weeks. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't write anything online. I didn't leave a message. I just disappear. I drove nearly 3 hours to the small town where my uncle lived. A retired policeman. He lived quietly near the woods. When I arrived, he took one look at me, then quietly opened the gate. No need to ask, no need to explain. I stayed there for almost a month. No phone, no Wi-Fi, no calls, just sunlight filtering through the trees, birdsong, and for the first time in a long time, I no longer feel seen. I can sleep again. I eat on time. I feel my real smile return after months of struggling to survive. I started playing each recording again. Not for evidence anymore, but to face myself. With what I've said, what I've uttered, what I've shared with strangers. I relearned how to control my voice. When I returned to the city, I didn't go back to my old apartment. I moved to a new place. More careful, quieter, safer. I changed my phone number again. But this time, not because I was scared, but because of Meproactive. I'm not running away anymore. I'm rebuilding myself. From the ruins of haunted nights. I still don't know who did it. Don't know why. Can't find out the real identity of the person behind the calls. But until now I have not received any more calls. This story does not have a monster coming out of the mirror. There is no shadow under the bed. No blood. No screams. There is only one thing. My own voice. And the overwhelming feeling that that voice no longer belonged to me. I tell this story not to scare you, but for you to remember. We live in a world where privacy is more fragile than ever. Every word you say, everything you send, every click, can become weapons against you. And sometimes, what scares you the most isn't someone in the dark, but when your own voice echoes in the night, and you no longer recognize it as your own. Headphone, if you are listening to this story and feel empathy. Right finger, leave a comment below. Maybe one time you found yourself being followed. Or a moment when you doubt the very device you're holding in your hand. Writing hand, share how you feel. Because who knows, someone is going through the same thing, and they need to know they are not crazy. And if you love true horror stories like this, push pin, click like to support the character. Speech balloon, comment to empower those who are fighting invisible darkness. Bell, and don't forget subscribe to After 0 Hours channel, where every story is more than just entertainment. It's a gentle warning from those who have survived to tell the tale. We will see you again after 0 hours.